So hello everyone, I'm Zekun from Penn State University. Today I will introduce a human study from our group and understand users' privacy perception and decision of V2X communication in connected autonomous vehicles. So the context of our study is in connected autonomous vehicle, or CAV. From the name, we can easily tell the two features of such a kind of vehicle. The automation is mainly supported by various sensors and algorithms, while the connectivity is realized through V2X, which stands for Vehicle-to-Everything Communication. So what is V2X? It's a wireless ad hoc technology exchanging data between the vehicle and other entities on the road. With that, the vehicle can communicate to other vehicles, to the infrastructures, to the pedestrian, and to the internet. The reason why V2X has captured a lot of attention is its great potential in improving safety, traffic efficiency, and people's driving experience. Regardless of the communication target, the V2X application can be categorized into 4 groups according to the purpose: infotainment, comfort, and convenience, traffic management, road safety, and cooperative autonomous driving. So let's take the road safety as an example. Imagine that you are driving the black car and want to make a right turn in this intersection. What types of data could be exchanged? Well, V2X application can share your intention with other vehicles in advance to help others know your plan. And also, it can collect others' location, speed, etc. to better decide the timing for your vehicle to turn right. With the support from V2X, we believe it can help everyone avoid collisions. However, V2X requires massive data from users. Just like using phones and IoT devices, applying V2X in the vehicle will also have privacy risks. So far, most of the work in this field focuses on the technical solutions, such as anonymization, perturbation. Few studies have been conducted from the human aspect. Therefore, it's unclear whether users can correctly perceive the pros and cons of V2X applications and how we can improve such perception. So in our work, we wanted to investigate how drivers view the various V2X applications. We know generally users need to share data with the application. The data sharing brings risks, while the application provides benefits. And then the user's decisions of whether to use the application is a trade-off between benefits and risks. So in our work, we wanted to investigate how drivers view the various V2X applications. We know generally users need to share data to the applications. The data sharing brings risks. Sorry. Thus, in our study, we wanted to measure drivers' perceived risks, benefits, and their final decisions. The first factor that may influence those 3 variables is the type of V2X applications. We wanted to see if our participants will vary their perception and decisions across different V2X communication applications. Priming is a widely used manipulation in mobile phone and IoT settings to help participants think about privacy. We wanted to check if priming could make them better understand the risks beneath the obvious benefits and further make more conservative decisions. We use official materials such as explanation provided on the government website to prime them of privacy or privacy and security. We also consider drivers' prior experience with novel technologies in the vehicle as a potential factor and found interesting results. Due to the time limitation, I will not cover this part in today's presentation. You can check our paper for it. So let's see the procedure. We did an online study last year to test our hypothesis. The survey includes 3 phases. In phase 1, we give an explanation of CAV and V2X for participants to read. The test following it is to make sure everyone understands what they are before moving to the next phase. After they pass the test, participants were randomly assigned to one of the 3 conditions. The first one is control condition. Participants don't need to do anything and they can proceed to the phase 2 directly. Those in the privacy priming condition need to read a paragraph that describes the potential privacy risks of sharing data to use V2X applications. Similarly, those in the last condition receive an extra paragraph about security risks besides the privacy risk one. So phase 2 is the main part of our survey. We generate 16 V2X application scenarios, 4 in each category. Each participant will go through all categories, but for each category, only one scenario will be randomly selected and presented to them. With that, each participant needed to read totally 4 scenarios in the survey. To ensure the validity of those scenarios, we asked 2 outside experts to review them and rate the validity. We updated the scenario descriptions based on the expert suggestions. Here, let's still take the road safety as an example. This is one scenario under this category. We highlight the data collecting entity, data involved, and the purpose to help participants capture the critical information in each scenario. After participants finish the description, we collect their perceived benefit, risk, as well as their data sharing willingness in 7-point Likert scale. We also asked an open-ended question to investigate why participants were willing or unwilling to use it. And finally, in phase 3, we collect participants' demographic information and ask about their experience. We recruit all participants on Amazon and Turk. They needed to have a valid United States driver license to start the survey. We used the comprehension test and attention test to filter inattentive participants. Finally, 595 participants were included for the data analysis. From this pie chart, we can see our sample has a balanced gender and age distribution. Most are Caucasian, and they have a lot of driving experience. Let's first see participants' perceived benefits. Here, x-axis is the category of V2X applications, and y-axis is the mean rating of perceived benefits. We had 220 participants in the control group, and 202 in the privacy priming group, and 173 in privacy and security group. We can find participants perceive more benefits in the 3 driving-related scenarios, and those who received privacy priming perceived fewer benefits. CRMs were built to test the significance. The baseline is the control condition and the infotainment scenarios. Here, we only show the significant comparisons. And similarly, participants perceive more risk when primed with privacy and fewer risks in the 3 driving-related scenarios. For willingness, participants in both priming conditions showed less willingness to use the application, while they were willing to use the 3 driving-related applications. Following that, we wanted to understand why participants are willing or unwilling to share the data to use the V2X applications. So we conducted semantic analysis on the answers participants gave in the open-ended question. For each answer, multiple themes are allowed as long as they were reflected in participants' answers. We have 2 coders, and code kappa is 0.93, indicating a good inter-coder agreement. Here, I will only show the top 5 themes. The other themes were mentioning less than 5% of the total answers, and you could find them in our paper. In more than half of the answers, participants believed the benefits were greater than the privacy risks. Some participants explicitly mentioned safety in their answers, indicating that they believe safety comes prior to concern for privacy. However, there are still 30% answers where they indicate concerns of their privacy. From this quote, we can find the lack of explanation about how the data will be used made him afraid to use the application, despite the promising benefits. Another reason why participants want to share their data is that they believe sharing their own data will help other vehicles. Thus, some participants felt a responsibility to share their data. The next thing we found is participants believe the shared data are insensitive or will be protected. We combine those two because those two as one thing because they both reflected that participants expect the data sharing to be harmless. Some believe the data are only about the vehicle, like the first quote indicates, or the data are about drivers, but no personally identifiable information is included. Those expecting protection over the data usually mention their data will be anonymized, only kept for a short time, or not shared with the third party. And the last one is pretty straightforward. Some participants just don't like it and don't believe it's necessary for them to use. So based on our results, we wanted to highlight that the privacy decisions of whether to use those V2X applications are different from the privacy decisions users made on their phones, browsers, or IoT devices. In this context, the trade-off may include privacy-safety trade-off. What makes it more complicated is that actually users may not only consider the benefit and risks for themselves. From their open-ended answers, we notice that people also care about the safety of others on the road. A few participants may also consider the privacy of the passengers in their cars. So this is why we can find drivers generally show willingness to use V2X applications, especially those related with driving safety. It is not hard to foresee that users will be very likely to use those V2X applications when they start to be implemented in the real world. However, the willingness to share their data does not mean they do not worry about their privacy. The situation is more like they have no choice but to share their data when it comes to the safety. Next, we believe drivers do not have a clear image of the privacy risks in V2X applications. When they gain more knowledge through the primary material, they will be more aware of the privacy risks. The qualitative results also show that for the same V2X application, some participants believe the data sharing is harmless, while others realize the shared data could be used to make further inference about them. Thus, the privacy risks and possible implications should be fully communicated to drivers when providing them with applications. Finally, given the expected high data sharing rate, privacy protection technologies are required for sure. Our qualitative results also show drivers expected a well-protected data collection and sharing process. Similar with the previous point, we suggest such technologies to be explained in plain language for users to explain in plain language to users to reduce their concerns. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you. Any questions?